What's up guys, Kome here back with another Genshin Impact video. Today I'm making a big video. This is my first Abyss guide. It's gonna become a series. Every rotation I'll try to make a new guide. So this one is gonna last for the next 2 weeks because after this we have Inazuma and we'll have new enemies for the Abyss. So yeah, this is my first one. It's coming a bit late for this rotation, but next one is gonna be really early. And since now I'm doing Abyss almost every stream for my viewers and for people on Discord, I think I'm pretty knowledgeable on the topic. So I'll try to help everyone with my YouTube videos as well. So yeah, if you like this content, make sure you drop a like, a subscribe, and click the bell. And if you need help with the Abyss, make sure you join my Discord. I'm helping everyone on Discord. It's free. And yeah, you can catch me live every day at 3 p.m. Central European time on Twitch at twitch.tv/Komimos. And in this guide, I'm going to try to give you some team comps recommendations, some what elements you need for every floor, some strategies for specific chambers. And if you don't have time to watch the full video, you can go to the end. I put the recap for all the floors, but you still have extra tips and more specific tips during the video, so I would recommend watching the full video. Let's begin with floor 9 and 10. For those two floors, I'm not going to spend too much time because they're pretty easy compared to floor 11 and 12, and there's not too many strategies to clear them. It's basically just waves of enemies that you have to kill, and there's no really specific things happening there. But what you have to know is that you need a lot of pyro in those two floors. In floor 9, you have a lot of shields, cryo shields to destroy. So if you have Bennett, Shangling, Yanfei, or I don't know, Xinyan, or a 5-star pyro DPS, that would be really good. And after that, it's just killing the enemies as fast as possible. For floor 10 though, there's a little bit of strategy to have here because they added the Abyss Herald and the Abyss Lector. So for those two guys, when they're going to 10% HP, they're popping a shield that you have to destroy with the right element. For the Hydro Herald, you need Cryo, and for the Electro Herald, Electro Lector, you need Pyro. So make sure you have those two elements in the second half. And for the last chamber, you have the cryo hypostasis in the first half. So if you have a pyro DPS, that's perfect. If you don't, make sure you have a good Shangling. She should be able to deal enough damage with her burst and Guoba to kill the hypostasis fast enough. When you're fighting the cryo hypostasis and you started to proc the shield, you don't need to push 3 balls into the cryo hypostasis. You can just push 2 balls, and then if you have a pyro DPS or even 2 pyro supports, you can just finish the shield with the elemental reaction. So don't feel the need to push 3 balls because you're losing a lot of time, a lot of stamina, where you can just push 2 balls with your charge attack and then rush to the hypostasis and break the shield with your skills. For the second half, it's just a DPS check. Be careful, you have 3 minutes for this chamber, so yeah, you need to be fast. For the other chambers, you have a lot of time, so it shouldn't be too hard. For floor 11, it's a bit harder than floor 9 and 10 because you have a lot more mechanics, but if you have Anemo characters, you should be able to clear it pretty easily because the swirl damage is increased by 300% and the AoE is increased by 100%, so all the Anemo characters are going to be insane. If you have the Anemo Traveler and Sucrose, it should be enough to clear it pretty easily. For the first chamber, it's a defend the core stage, so you have to make sure you gather the enemies with the Anemo Traveler, at least for the first half. The first half, you have a lot more enemies compared to the second half, so if you only have the Anemo Traveler and you don't have Sucrose, make sure you put him in the first team, so you should be able to have enough health to survive on the second half as well. For the second half, all the enemies, basically in this chamber, all the enemies are going to focus the core, almost all the enemies, so yeah, you have to make sure you kill them fast enough. For the first half, the Anemo Traveler should do the job, and for the second half, focus the Grenadier first, I would say, because they deal a lot of damage, and if you hit a little bit the Helichal Guard, they're gonna start focusing you. At the end of the stage, the stone hide that spawn will not focus the core, but you have to be careful that his attacks don't hit the core. So never be in the trajectory between the lava turtle and the core, so his waves of stone won't hit the core. For chamber 2, it's basically the same. Here, Anemo is super strong. The enemies are going to spawn together. So if you have Sucrose, Venti, or Kazuha, or the main traveler, you should be able to clear it fast enough. If you see that you don't have enough DPS with your main DPS and an Anemo character, make sure you bring the corresponding elements for the Pyro Slinger and the Electro Hammer, and for the cryo gunner and the hydro gunner. So first team you want hydro cryo, and second team pyro cryo would be good, and a claymore user or geo character for the geo chanter. For floor 11, chamber 3, it's going to be a bit harder because the Rune Hunter and Rune Guard in first half are way tankier than the previous enemies. Also, they have a lot of physical resistance, so if your main DPS is a physical damage dealer, you have to look more into elemental reaction. As you can see in the clip, I'm using Yanfei with Xingqiu, so Pyro DPS with Xingqiu is always a good idea, especially against those type of monsters. And also at the start of the first half, make sure you run to the Rune Guard because the Rune Hunter is going to follow you. So you can start hitting both of them at the same time. You're going to gain a lot of time. And for the second half, I would recommend bringing 2 Cryo, 2 Pyro. 2 Pyro for the Lecter Shield and 2 Cryo for the Abyss Herald Shield. And also Cryo can break the Lecter Shield as well, so it's really good. And yeah, if you have Yanfei as Pyro DPS, or I don't know, Cryo DPS like Ganyu, Yola, Chongyun is a perfect support to destroy the Herald Shield, as you can see as well. And those tips are going to be really helpful for the next floor as well, because you're going to meet the Lecter and the Herald again. Now floor 12 is where the real challenge begins. The enemies have a lot more HP, a lot more mechanics, and they're way more annoying. For example, when we begin with chamber 1, you're going to fight 2 Geo Bishops in both halves. The first half is going to be 1 Cryo Geo Bishop and 1 Electro. Second half is going to be 1 Cryo and 1 Hydro. So you might need the corresponding element to deal more damage with reactions. For example, Pyro DPS would be really helpful in both teams. And they have a lot of HP. So if you have a shield as well, that could be really helpful, like Zhongli, the Yona, even Noel could help. And yeah, as for DPS, you can bring Ganyu, you can bring Diluc, you can bring Yanfei, you can bring Klee. All these characters are really good for this first chamber. So yeah, for chamber 2, it's going to be a bit different. Here you're going to need some Anemo if possible in the first half, because there are a lot of enemies. So if you have Venti, even Sucrose, Kazuha, or even the main traveler could work really well. And make sure you have 1 Pyro unit at least to break the Cryosissin Mage shield. And for the second half, you're going to fight 2 Geovishap hatchlings at the start of the chamber, and then 1 big Stonehide Lava Churl. So for the hatchlings, they're going to be really annoying because they're moving all around the map. I would recommend either using a freeze comp, or if you have some teams that can stagger the enemy easily. For example, Jin can be really helpful. If you have Ganyu, you can shoot them even when they're running around. So yeah, you should be able to clear that with freeze team or with Ganyu. One more tip that I can give you is that if you have Shao, you can use his burst right from the start of the fight, and you're going to stagger the Geobishop with the plunges attack, so they won't be able to move and you'll just be able to kill them really fast. And I think that's my best character for this second half. Chamber 3 is also a real challenge. Chamber 2 is really hard because you need to kill the hatchlings really fast. They make you lose a lot of time, but if you manage to do it, it's not too hard. For Chamber 3 though, you need really perfect execution. For example, first half you're going to have Abyss Lecter with Pyromage and Hydromage. You'll need at least 2 Pyro characters like Shangling and Bennett, who are really free-to-play friendly and work really well to destroy the Abyss Lecter Shield, and one big DPS as well. So I would recommend using one of your main DPS with Bennett Shangling, and last character could be either a shield user or Venti, Kazuha, Sucrose to swirl the Pyro Mage or Hydro Mage together. For the second half, here I recommend 2 Cryo to break the Abyss Herald Shield, and one Anemo character would be really helpful as well to swirl the Cryo Mage and the Pyro Mage together and break the shield together. Otherwise, you can bring one Pyro character to break the Cryo Shield, as well as in the first half you could bring one Hydro character to break the Pyro Shield. So I think I covered most of the floors. I'm just gonna give you one last tip for that last chamber. When you start the fight, go on the left side of the map and start watching near the wall. The 2 mages are gonna teleport when you're watching, so they're gonna be close together, and then you can swirl them together just like you can see in this clip. And it's going to be really helpful and make it really faster to break the shields. If you have Anemo like Venti, Kazuha, or Sucrose, all the Anemo characters can work in this chamber, so it makes it really easy to break the shield. Same thing for second half. Just run around just run to the left side and watch. You can either watch the wall or watch a little bit parallel to the wall, and it's going to give more space to the Pyromages and Cryomage to teleport together. So they're going to be real close, and it's going to be really easy to swirl them together. This technique doesn't work all the time, so maybe you'll have to retry sometimes, but I can make it work at least 90% of the time. If you give enough space to the mages, they should be able to teleport together. Sometimes they're going to be a bit further from each other, but it should still work. And last tip, as I said in floor 11, chamber 3, if you have Chongyun for the second half, this character is the perfect cryo character to break the Abyss Herald Shield. So I would recommend either bringing Chongyun or Rosaria in the second half with a cryo DPS, or if you don't have a cryo DPS, just bring 2 cryo like Chongyun Rosaria or Chongyun Diona or Diona Rosaria. All these could work. That's it for my Abyss guide. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. You can follow me on Twitch as well. If you need help with the Abyss, you can join my Discord. I'm helping people every single day. If you have few stars remaining, I can probably get you the remaining stars. And if you have any more questions about the Abyss, I can help you as well with like team composition or strategies. And finally, at some point, make sure your artifacts are on point. I know artifact farming can be annoying, but at some point, you have to work on your artifact before expecting to beat 36 stars the Abyss. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, catch me live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Comimos. And thank you guys. You do this, they're together, then you burst with Zhongli, then you do shield, then whatever, but... Oh shit, move. Okay.